Not every product by Apple has been a hit. In its early days, Apple has had quite a few ups and downs, and one of its biggest failures was the Apple III computer. Steve Jobs himself said that Apple had lost infinite and incalculable amounts of money on the Apple III. Steve Wozniak, the co-founder of Apple, estimated it to be around $100 million. So what caused this failure and how it changed Apple? We'll be looking at all of that in this episode. For a bit of a backstory, the Apple III was designed to be a successor to the Apple II computer, one of the world's first highly successful microcomputers. Launched in 1977, the Apple II was a great success because of its open architecture, a lot of third party cards to add new features, and most importantly, a lot of software for business, utility, gaming, etc. Apple II was becoming very popular in the home, education, and to some extent in the business sector. But at Apple Computer, employees thought differently. As early as 1979, the company thought that the product won't do good for more than a year or two. At that time around, Apple was developing another computer called the Lisa, but it was an advanced computer, and Apple executives felt that it would take a long time before Lisa hit the market. So, to fill in the gap, Apple started the development of the Apple III. This new machine, instead of being based on the Apple II, was built from the ground up. Apple executives wanted this product to be business oriented, unlike the Apple II, which had a reputation of being a home and arcade computer. Apple also decided that since it would be a while before many application programs would be available for this new computer, it should be capable of running existing Apple II software, which in turn handicapped the project. So, the Apple III was manufactured and it boasted of features like a 1.8 MHz Cinetek 6502A 8-bit CPU and 256 kilobytes of memory. Other Apple III built-in features included an 80-column 24-line display with upper and lower case characters, a numeric keypad, dual-speed cursor control keys, and a built-in 140 kilobyte 5.25-inch floppy disk. The Apple III was the first Apple product to allow the user to choose both a screen font and a keyboard layout, either QWERTY or Dvorak. This machine came with a more advanced operating system called Apple Sauce. Apple III was also backward compatible with Apple II software, but Apple was too intent on ending development for the Apple II platform that it limited the backward compatible mode to just 48 kilobytes of RAM, and special chips were placed so that people couldn't access the Apple III's powerful features while in Apple II mode. The machine's pricing ranged from $4,340 to $7,800, which is equivalent to $13,000 to $24,500 in today's time. With all of that, the Apple III was launched. Apple was so proud of this product that they rented Disneyland for one whole day and commissioned bands to play in the honor of the Apple III. But soon, disaster struck. There were too many design flaws with the machine. So much so that there was a 100% failure rate. The thing was, Steve Jobs insisted on having no fans or vents in the computer because they were too loud and noisy. But the engineers had to do something to dissipate the heat. So the Apple III's base was made with heavy cast aluminum, which acted as a heatsink. Many Apple III users reported that the Apple III became so hot that the chips started dislodging from the motherboard. The solution to this told by Apple was also quite weird. They literally told consumers to lift the computer 6 inches above the desk and then drop it to reposition the chips as a temporary solution. The case designer for the Apple III, called Jerry Manock, said that the problem was with the logic board and not the design. The logic board used fine line technology, which wasn't very mature at that time. The assembly process of the logic board caused a lot of short circuits, which are hard to fix and costly. Steve Jobs also wanted the machine to be smaller, but the dimensions he gave to the engineering team were too small to fit the machine in. Apart from the design, software was another big problem. The Apple II's major selling point was a library of thousands of software for all purposes, but that wasn't the case with the 3. The Apple III had only 3 pieces of software available for it, even after 2 months of its launch. And the Apple II emulation didn't work well. It led to further instability and reliability issues, and the experience was not smooth at all. The Apple III had received a ton of bad press and reviews, and it was highly unlikely that the product could be saved now. Apple introduced a revised model of the Apple III in February of 1981. Apple tried to fix the major issues of the original version with this release and also priced it a bit lower at $4190. But the deed had already been done. The negativity around the original Apple III was too much, and this revised version couldn't do anything. Just a few months after the launch of the Apple III revised came another very hard blow in the form of the IBM PC. The IBM PC was launched in August of 1981, and IBM had created a remarkable PC. They showed off its capabilities during its launch, and everyone was amazed. And to finish it all off, the PC was priced at just around $1,500, making it significantly cheaper than the Apple III. Apple did introduce another revised model of the Apple III called Apple III Plus, which fixed pretty much everything, but that didn't go too well. Finally, the Apple III was discontinued in April of 1984. Looking back, the major problems that caused the failure of the Apple III were Steve Jobs' excessive design requirements, the reliability and stability issues, a very rushed production and release, the original bad press and the bad impression, the exorbitantly high price, and the hard blow by the IBM PC. Apple learned a lot from this failure and focused more on the development of the Macintosh and the Lisa computer, and that eventually paid off. That was for this episode. I hope you liked it and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.